Trudeau is feeling the pressure. Not only is he finding himself under investigation for election interference from foreign entities, potential corruption that of course he's kept hidden from us for years, what's been happening is he's find himself falling in the polls against the Conservatives. So when he's under pressure, what does he do? He tries to trick Canadians by offering us free stuff. In this case, a giant change to our housing. He's going to make it more affordable. He's going to do all this building, all this development, and he's going to fix a problem you guys are dealing with. What is he leaving out? He caused the problem in the first place. He's tricking us. He's trying to sell out by offering us free money, which, keep in mind, federal taxes means it's our money. And he's giving us all these promises that he will not be able to deliver on, but they sound great. And he's trying to move up in the polls. Speaking of which, let's get into the first video, which we are talking about how the Conservatives are doing in the polls, why Trudeau's feeling the pressure. Later on, we're going to have to listen to Trudeau speak. I apologize. And then I'm going to add some context to what is happening with these housing announcements, because I do think there can be some big changes. I just don't think it's from this announcement. Let's get into it.
Cool. Who's ready to axe the tax?
He talked about stopping crime and making government smaller, including lots of digs at the Prime Minister.
Gary Elliott Trudeau famously plagiarized when he said that the government had no place in the bedrooms of the nation. Now, his son wants the government to be in every room of your house and your business.
He also made a soft pitch to those who voted Liberal in the past but don't believe in their current message.
Liberals used to believe in laissez-faire. Let people make their own decisions and live their own lives. Different strokes for different folks. Remember that?
A new poll says the Poilievre Conservatives are again picking up support. The latest Abacus data numbers have them a full 20 points ahead.
So what's been really interesting about the Conservative support growth is that it's coming from a wide range of parties. All of them share one thing, and that is they want a change in government.
The Liberals are trying to...
Yeah, that's been nice to see. You know, we're seeing people switch over from NDP to Conservative, which is extremely rare. But people are just sick of Trudeau, and they want to listen to a prime minister who they can, actually stand listening to him speak.
Gain back support. The Prime Minister has crisscrossed the country, announcing billions in new funding ahead of the next budget.
As billions in taxpayers' dollars being spent.
As much as the Liberals are trying to take control of the agenda, demonstrate to people that they have a plan, it doesn't seem to be working to change people's minds.
Conservatives say Poilievre's economic message is resonating.
It's very exciting for Conservatives to finally have that person in place and to charge people who are under 40 and get them going and get them excited.
There could be more than a year before the next election, and as Conservatives work to build on their momentum, the Liberals will be trying to take it away.
Yeah, and it's nice to get the option of like, okay, this, Pierre in this scenario is telling us, hey, we want to improve these things, but not through just spending and like, hey, promising billions of dollars, which is just Trudeau selling out by trying to appeal to people by offering free stuff. And I've said it in other videos, guys, when he's spending this money, it's our money. And so in this next part, we've got Trudeau up here. Okay. Warning, he's so frustrating in this video because look at his smug face, for one. Right off the bat, he's taking credit and he's acting like I'm doing all of this fixing. But I'll talk about what he's leaving out and how he thinks he's being such this big, important person. It's just the smugness is so frustrating to watch. Let's listen to him speak.
More fair for all the
Prime Minister,
generations.
Melissa Stone, Globe and Mail. Back to provincial relations. Alberta has a new bill that seeks to stop your government or federal governments from negotiating directly with municipalities, essentially saying stick to national policy, not in my backyard. And she says it would be inefficient for you to negotiate all of these agreements with hundreds of municipalities. Can you respond to her criticisms and why you would still pursue this?
It seems like it was only a few months ago that I pointed out quite accurately that the federal government doesn't have a whole lot of direct carriage of housing, that it is very much a provincial and municipal responsibility. The federal government has certain responsibilities that we've been stepping up on since 2017, but I pointed out that this is not something the federal government can solve alone.
So here's where I have to stop him, because not only is it annoying to listen to him talk. But the problem is they keep saying it's not up to the federal government to build houses and fix housing. Yeah, but you guys have the biggest lever in what's causing the housing issues, which is immigration. Oh, since 2017, we've been talking that we're going to fix housing. You guys are causing the problem. These unprecedented levels of immigration are the only thing that we can actually fix that will help housing in Canada. We do not have the facilities or the capacity to outbuild the level of immigration that we're currently experiencing. We were behind in housing before we had this level of immigration. Now we have psychotic levels, and we're going, oh, but Trudeau's going to throw enough money at them and then we're going to fix it all. And it's like, that's not how it works. You still have a level of production capacity, which we cannot keep up with this level of immigration. So I've watched dozens of videos on this housing announcement. Not one analyst, not one economist, not one politician has even brought up slowing immigration to help with the housing crisis. It's all about spend, 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 spend. Like, that's been the only thing they've brought up.
And over the following weeks and months, we heard from a cavalcade of premiers saying, see, the federal government needs to step up more, needs to do more. It's trying to get out of the business of housing. The federal government needs to step up and fix this housing crisis that we've seen across the country. So we are. Provinces should be careful what they wish for.
Vaguely threatening as well. I love that. Like, this guy cannot just make, oh, you know what? We're going to try and fix housing. We're going to try and make this better for Canadians. Provinces better be careful what they wish for. Like, that is such a weird way to put it, man. Like, are you here to help or are you here to like enforce and make this like a bad thing? And so I am a real estate agent in London, Ontario. Reach out to me in the link below if you want to work with me in London or anybody in my real estate network across Canada. I'm seeing this firsthand and knowing, hey, you can get, in the face of these provinces, because I've said it in other videos, we do need the provinces to encourage building. We do need the provinces to be in charge of helping these municipalities to encourage them to build and all that stuff. But spending and not cutting immigration, like I've always said that because at the province and the municipal level, we have no control when it comes to immigration. So the only thing we can do is build. They can cut immigration. Ugh, frustrating.
They want the federal government to fix this housing crisis? We are.
We are.
We will. Now, let me be very clear. It'll be much better if the provinces continue to step up with significant ambition. And we've seen a number of provinces do that. When we announced the Housing Accelerator funding, $4 billion across the country, Quebec said, you know what? We'll actually match the $900 million you're sending to municipalities in Quebec. We'll double it, and we'll do even more, even faster. BC came forward and said,
no, they said they'll spend even more, even faster. But remember, this is tax dollars, guys. We are in a massive national deficit. This is money that's going to have to be collected. We could cut immigration and build at a sustainable level without having to spend tax dollars on it, because this is going to come back to bite us. The future generations are not going to be happy.
Said, you know what? There's a BC Builds program we've wanted to build around affordable housing. If you can match the money we're doing, we'll do even more. And we did that. And we created the Canada Builds program. And we're working directly with municipalities that want to be super ambitious. The 3 mayors that are here today represent municipalities that signed housing accelerator agreements worth in excess of $150 million that's going to create 4,000 units over the coming years in this region. These are things we are doing concretely where we recognize that Canadians need help and support and investment, and don't so much care about, whose responsibility it is first and foremost. They just want it to get done.
Yeah, and we don't care whose responsibility it is, except for, making the housing crisis less of an issue for Canadians. Canadians are spending way too much of their money on housing, and it's crushing our productivity. It's having issues across all of these things. So I'm going to get into the next video. This is where they get into a bit more specifics. Of course, Trudeau here was just talking about how good of a job he's doing and how the provinces are sucking, but he's doing such a good job. But anyways, this gets into a bit more of the specifics, which I wanted to elaborate on because I think it's kind of important to hear some of the things that they're saying.
The government's flurry of housing announcements from the last few weeks has built to this.
We are releasing the most comprehensive and ambitious housing plan ever seen.
This latest policy focused on boosting the supply of new homes.
We're going to do that by reducing the cost of home building, by putting tax incentives on the table for builders, low-cost financing. We're also going to be launching new measures that help unlock federal lands.
That means opening up more public land for construction, either through sale or lease, up to $40,000 in low-interest loans for homeowners.
Those always come with the longest line of stipulations we've had in local municipalities now, and there's other provincial and federal programs right now to build secondary suites. It's so not even worth it. It's so expensive. Like, it's just a total horrible program, and that's what this is going to be as well, I guarantee it.
To build secondary suites and allowing builders to write off more taxes by recouping up to 10% of costs from projects that have lost value.
So that's the only one that I think that adds some sort of value, because what's been happening is, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I understand is it was only 4%. That's being increased to 10%. And I believe it's only on multifamily. So apartment buildings, stuff like that, which is a bigger deal because if the apartment buildings are able to be built, that's going to help people who are renting. And if we can build more units, I'm a real estate investor, so you'd think I'd only want prices to go up, but I don't. I want Canada to be doing better as a country, and we can't have people spending all of their money on housing. So it's like, if we can do that, the problem is we just don't have the building capacity as of right now, again, to help build the immigration. But if this can incentivize more apartment buildings, that could be good. But I'm sure, again, there's going to be some sort of stipulation to it that's going to blow it. Like, the execution on this is going to be horrible.
We're seeing language and a scale of an initiative that I've never seen before.
All that is a start in addressing the gap, especially in rental housing, says this former Toronto city planner, now a developer.
Rental housing is so incredibly expensive that there's nothing left at the end of the month to start saving for a down payment. So having a little bit of a surplus or oversupply of rental housing would be really good for young people.
But some provinces...
And that's true, because if we could get more competitive rents for younger generations, it could be so much more important for the longer term hold. And the problem is, like, he's offering all these free things or these incentives, and I've seen some of them are actually, to give him some credit, they're okay. But the thing is, he's only promising this now after 8, almost 9 years of him creating the problem. And that's the whole thing. It's a bait and switch. He's creating this problem. He's now going, oh, look, I'm fixing it. But again, not one person in any video, I'm going to sound like a broken record, is talking about immigration, when I do think personally that is one of the biggest issues that would slow down and help the housing crisis. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I am a real estate agent in London, Ontario. If you do want to work with me, reach out to me in the link below, or anybody in my network across Canada. Have a great rest of your day.